everyone. Welcome to the Play Choices podcast, the podcast you hear. I am your host, V.
Hi, I'm the co-host Lucas.
Lucas has a new mic, so his audio might sound a little bit different from previous episodes. But this is, we're trying to invest. We're trying to make the audio quality even better. So that's why he sounds different. So we're going to spend this episode discussing the first chapter of Bloodbound Book 1. I will say I was very kindly bullied into choosing Bloodbound. I was not. I mean that with like the nicest intentions. Like I remember like a couple weeks ago I was like, guess what this week's episode is about? And it was about foreign affairs. And everyone was like, Bloodbound, please. I was like, oh, I'm sorry to let you down. It's not Bloodbound. But this week's is Bloodbound. So congratulations. So this episode is not spoiler safe. So if you want to avoid spoilers for Bloodbound Book 1, Chapter 1, please read that first. And we'll be here for you to come back and listen whenever you would like. I was really hoping that this week was going to be the week that I didn't have any starting notes, but every first week of the month, Choices sends out its Choices Insiders, so I do want to talk through the Choices Insiders for this month. Are you down for that?
Let's do it.
Okay, so highlights that I have for Choices Insiders for March of 2021, they're just kind of advertising that Open Heart Book 3 is live, which, trust me, everyone is aware. There's a lot of chatter about that on social media. Every single time a new chapter is released, Open Heart is definitely a hot topic right now. And then also Baby Bump 2 went on hiatus a couple weeks ago, and it is returning in April. The way that we are ahead of episodes at this point, this episode is probably going to release in April. So by the time that this episode goes live, Baby Bump 2 will probably be off hiatus. And then they sent us a schedule of the books. So in March, we are getting a new VIP book called Slow Burn. And then in April, we're getting Laws of Attraction. And then there is another book called A Scandalous Proposal. It has an unspecified release date, but they did say that it's coming soon. And then later this year, they are releasing the Royal Finale, Crimes of Passion, The Nanny Affair Book 2, Zombies, and Queen Bee Book 2. So I was kind of hoping at some point they would be like, just kidding, it's not really called Zombies, but I really think they're rolling with that
Yeah,
title.
they are.
Yeah, no, they're definitely rolling with that title for sure. They gave a sneak peek to Law of Attraction because obviously Law of Attraction is going to be about crimes, law, maybe some legal proceedings, And they sent us a photo. If you scroll down, it says like so many books. We can't wait for you all to sink your teeth into our 2021 content. And then it says, as an extra special treat, we have a teaser in anticipation of our next book, Laws of Attraction. And then there's an image. And then under the image, it says, can you unravel the case? Because we're definitely stumped. In the most polite way, with peace and love. With peace and love. What is this?
Yeah, what is that?
It looks like a blurred image of like a faucet.
Right, but what is that flame behind it?
I don't know what that is. Like,
Is
they
that like
said
a Bunsen burner? That's automatically what I thought of. Like,
oh, it could be a flame. I never. It could be fire, but then there's water running right next to it.
yeah, right? That definitely does look like a faucet.
That's definitely a faucet with water coming out of it. I'm definitely getting kitchen vibes from this photo. So yeah, I was just looking at it and I was like, I feel about as stumped as I was before
Right? Why did they?
this Choices Insider came out. So I'm not sure. I mean, maybe there'll be a scene with like a fire, maybe some arson. I don't know. I don't know what this is supposed to show us. I was very confused when I saw that image. And then if you scroll down, they have some more sneak peeks to Slow Burn's location. That's the one that's coming out this month. And it's just showing some like where the art scenes are because some of the fans were trying to speculate like where it's going to take place. I'm getting like European vibe.
Yeah.
From this. I don't know if it's actually going to be in Europe, but I'm getting like European vibe from these backgrounds.
Same.
So it would be interesting if they went, like across the pond as a book. It wouldn't be the first time that they have had some books take place internationally. Those are some previews that we got for both Law of Attraction and Slow Burn. And they also shared some frequently asked questions, so that gave us some information that Choices is pushing out some books of different genres, which, I mean, we know this looking at their schedule of the books for 2021. And we also learned that Slow Burn, Laws of Attraction, and Crimes of Passion MCs will be gender customizable. And specifically in Crimes of Passion, we'll be able to pick our pronouns. So I am glad that they are continuing to do that in future books. I know that was something that we had said was like a little bit of a concern for foreign affairs, is like, are
Right.
they actually going to do this again? So I'm glad that they're doing it in Crimes of Passion. I don't know why they can't do that in Slow Burn or Laws of Attraction, because it doesn't cost any new artwork. It's just like adding they and them into the script, but at least it's happening in one book. So again, my expectations are on the floor, but at least they're doing it to one.
Yeah.
There's another book called Blades of Light and Shadow that we haven't made an episode on yet, but it is getting its sequel in 2022. And then The Nanny Affair is getting its sequel in the summer, and then Queen Bee will be released later on this year. That's all the news that we have for choices for 2021. So definitely looking forward to A Nanny Affair. Queen Bee is one that we haven't read yet, but I love Queen Bee and I cannot wait to get your opinion on that book. It's so good. And of course at some point we'll be getting to Blades of Light and Shadow, and
Hmm.
hopefully in time for its sequel to come out in 2022. Out of any of those books, are there any where you're like, I cannot wait to play these?
I think Crimes of Passion, I'm getting a vibe for it. I just think it's something that I would like as far as plot wise. Oh, maybe a scandalous proposal as well. Definitely books that are coming out later on in the year. Laws of Attraction, I was, but then they posted that dumbass photo. So like, I'm just like,
Now you're like, I don't really know what that is.
now I'm like, it's Laws of Confusion, and I don't want to bother. Like, I don't want to be bothered by it anymore.
I wonder if like a scandalous proposal, like I'm getting very like Bridgerton vibes, where it's like
Yes, yeah.
a fake proposal.
I'm over here like, damn, y'all copy anything Shonda Rhimes do, huh?
Oh my god. Yeah, no, I'm getting very Bridgerton vibes from a scandalous proposal. So, we'll
Hmm.
see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I definitely think there are some books that I'm definitely looking forward to. Mostly the sequels. I mean, we'll have to see we'll just have to see where Crimes of Passion and Laws of Attraction, where they sit.
Right.
Okay, before we get on with the rest of the chapter, let me interrupt with some plugs. So you can leave us a voice message at anchor.fm/play-choices-podcast/message. It could show up in a future episode. You can also directly support this podcast at anchor.fm/play-choices-podcast/support. If we haven't convinced you yet, listen to this amazing, amazing commercial that Lucas and I put together for you. It
In
takes me
the arms
hours.
of an angel.
It takes me, no, keep singing. It takes me
I
hours to record. No, keep doing it.
here
It takes me
are
hours to record and edit this podcast.
wherever you
And
are.
with your donation
I believe
of
that
$1 a
my
month
heart will
could save V from
go
smashing her fucking head
on.
into a wall.
Why does the heart
Thank you so much. And back to our episode. Okay, so let's jump into talking about Bloodbound Book 1 Chapter 1. It's called The Interview. So the default MC name is Amy. They didn't let us pick any last names. I think in like their earlier books they kind of like strayed away from it for whatever reason, just wasn't an option. So the cover of the book shows a woman pressing herself against the torso of a man who has blood running down his chin from his mouth, and the woman's just facing the camera. So I think it's pretty obvious what this book is about.
No, really though, truly.
The chapter summary for the first chapter is you're applying for a job with the brilliant CEO billionaire Adrian Rains, but there's more to him than it seems. And the genres are sexy, vampires, and CEO. I know what y'all are thinking. I'm not going to do it.
No, but I am. We couldn't get a thriller. We couldn't get a supernatural as a genre. Again, what is up with these occupations being listed as genres? Sexy, CEO. Like, no.
I can't say it again because I don't have the time, I don't have the patience, I don't have the will to live, much less to talk about. And that's what's crazy because this book was probably released 2 to 3 years ago and they were still doing this shit. You know what I mean? Like, we look at the Nanny Affair that came out like 2019, 2020. No, it came out 2019. And I was thinking, I was like, I wonder how long, I wonder if that's a new thing. Like, they're just putting CEO as a genre. No, because you know what? This book, I can safely say, is the original Nanny Affair.
Yes.
Like, let's be for real.
Yes.
Brilliant
Yes.
CEO, billionaire Adrian Reigns. It wasn't something that I was going to put two and two together until we recorded the first episode on the Nanny Affair, and now we're recording on Bloodbound, and they're very similar.
And it's so crazy because Nanny and Fair, we were like, make it make sense. It's not making sense. Make it make sense. And now we're
Hmm.
recording this, and it's like, oh, it makes sense.
No, this is like the more like realistic Nanny Affair to me. Hey everyone, this is post editing B. Yeah, I'm in the middle of editing this podcast and I realized that I sound kind of stupid there, like a whole dumbass. When I said it was more realistic, I of course did not mean like the vampire element of it. Of course, that's not realistic. As far as I know, vampires are not real, but I'm just saying the build-up of the romantic relationship between Amy and Adrian is to me more believable than the buildup of the romantic relationship between Anna and Sam. I feel like the relationship between Anna and Sam is just hypersexualized in a way that Amy and Adrian's is not. That's what I meant. Just wanted to cut in and clarify. Enjoy the rest of the episode. Bye. Okay, so when you first open the book, it does display a warning for violence in mature situations, so that will also be a warning for our episodes. You know, if the book contains topics of violence in mature situations, just know that we will also be discussing that. So if that makes you uncomfortable, join us on our next episode that isn't Bloodbound, and we'll
Right.
see you there. The first narrative paragraph we get is like very ominous. It says, "Soon it will be the day that will change your life, the day that you discover the truth." And then they're like, "But first, you have to discover yourself." And then it launches you into the character creation screen. Now, the thing that I think is interesting about the opening of this book is that in the upfront, or at least that we've played, this is the first book that we have played in the upfront where they automatically give you like 2 diamond options.
Yes.
There's 4 outfit choices.
I was like, these choices are very aggressive. It was like diamond. I was like, okay, next diamond. I said another one.
Yes,
Another one?
yes. So this is very early, but in the upfront, we're gonna go ahead and do a splurge or skip.
All right.
It's very
All right.
unusual, but I mean, they gave us the outfits this early, so we gotta do it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna start with describing the outfits because there's a lot. There's a lot to go through here. There's 4 separate outfits. 2 of them are diamond options, 2 of them are free. So we're gonna start with the first one. The first one is titled Polished Professional, and the description says dress to impress in this classy ensemble, and it is 25 diamonds. Now, the actual outfit itself is she is wearing her top is an off the shoulder gray sweater, full sleeve. Then at her waist, she has a purple belt with like a gold buckle, and she's wearing a black pencil skirt. And the accessories is like this like ice blue colored necklace that comes just below her collarbone. The bracelet is like this. It looks like a pearl bracelet that has like a pink ribbon going through it. It's a little confusing. The next diamond outfit is called Timeless Stripes. The description is classic stripes with a pop of red. And this is 20 diamonds, so it's 5 diamonds cheaper than the first option. And the outfit it looks like a t-shirt with black and white stripes going across it, and then she's wearing what looks like to be a black suede miniskirt. It has a little French tuck. So like she's done a little French tuck to the shirt into the skirt. And then her necklace, it's like big, clunky, like red flowers, like those big ass necklaces that you see sometimes. So that's that diamond outfit. And then the next 2 are free outfits. So this one's just called Basic Blazer, and the description is professional and sleek. The outfit is like she's wearing black, like business casual pants, and then a white button up, and then she has a blue blazer that is like a 3.5 quarter down her arm. So very like basic outfit. That one's free. And then you have breezy ruffles. The description is simple and pretty. Yet again, a free outfit. And it is sage green slacks with the ribbon kind of like off to her right side of her hip. And then she has a black blouse where like there's like ruffles on the sleeves. It's like a short sleeved blouse. No accessories for this one. The question I'm going to ask you is, did we make any purchases here?
No, we didn't. We didn't make any purchases. Mm-mm.
These have got to be some of the most offensive
Yes.
diamond option outfits
Yes.
I've ever seen in my
I've
life.
ever seen in my fucking life. In my fucking life, you hear me?
25 diamonds for A
A
gray
Regina George
sweater.
outfit?
I'm done.
For a fucking Regina George outfit, we spent in 25
25
diamonds?
diamonds. Oh my god, it's
That's
just
5 away
so.
from a sex scene. What?
Yes,
No,
I
make it
could
make
pay
sense.
for an orgasm, but you want me to pay for this outfit? It just doesn't sit right in my soul.
It
Nothing
don't
about
make it
this
make
outfit
sense.
matches. A gray sweater, a
Nothing.
pink belt, a gold buckle, black pants, ice blue necklace, and a pearl bracelet with a pink ribbon?
The ribbon and the belt are the only thing that match, but that frosty choker? What? What?
What is
And the
happening with that
gray.
ice blue?
She looked like a superhero. Like
You think this looks like a superhero? This is like a budget superhero. It's just not a good outfit. Okay, so we did not pick this. We're skipping this. We're not splurging. Let's go to the next outfit.
over here looking like a Lizzie McGuire movie.
Sup?
I feel like she about to start singing "Hey Now."
Hey now, hey
Hey
now.
now.
20 diamonds, so only 5 diamonds cheaper. If I had to give a diamond valuation to these, none of them are coming anywhere close to what they value them as. But to me, the stripes one is definitely should be more expensive than the sweater one. Because I just think it is an overall more attractive outfit, but does that mean that it's a good outfit? No. This clunky I don't know how, I don't want to offend anybody because I do know some people who like this type of jewelry, but it's not my style.
It's not my style. It's not a vibe.
Very clunky plastic red flowers. There's other necklaces I think would have been much better suited for this outfit. And then also, if you're going on an interview, why are you wearing a t-shirt and miniskirt? Those are just questions I have for the general public.
It looks like she was at a job interview for Coachella.
This would make sense if you were at a job interview for like a retail store. Like if they were like, "Oh, we like for our associates to dress in our clothes and we like them to look fashionable." This would make more sense. But you're interviewing to be an executive assistant to a CEO.
Right, not a fucking Forever 21 manager
Yeah,
position.
it bothers me that the skirt is wrinkled in the front. Why would I pay diamonds for a wrinkled skirt? They had to add texture to that. I just can't. It bothers me so much. So let's move on to the free outfits. Since obviously we did not spend money, I have to know, like, what outfit did you end up going with? Did you go with the breezy ruffles or did you go with the basic blazer?
I went with the breezy ruffles.
Okay. What was the deciding point between those two?
This blazer just looked tacky.
Oh.
It just looked tacky, child. You hear me? Why the blazer and the pants not matching? Why? And if you don't match with that, I feel like you need some sort of color pop. And there's nothing around the neck. There's no bracelet,
Mhm.
no nothing.
Mhm.
It looked like she custom ordered a suit and they just gave her the wrong pants.
Mhm. Mhm.
Even if the blue pants matched the blue blazer, I would love it. But it's just the audacity and it is the not matching for me. And
Mhm.
she got a nerve to smirk.
Oh.
No. Mm-mm. But this breezy ruffles, the simplicity of the black t-shirt, I just love it. It's just I'm here for it. It gives me very aesthetic vibes without being too serious, and I think it's an appropriate outfit. It's the better outfit out of all of these.
I went with the blazer because I know in these little cutouts where they show you their head, you only see the top. So like I'm imagining in my head canon, she has matching pants. When I see her
Okay.
face, I'm like, she has matching pants. I just feel like I prefer to get a little bit more dressed up because to me like the breezy ruffles outfit feels a little bit more business casual and the blazer outfit feels like some cheap business professional. And since we didn't know how dressed up this whole thing was going to be, I was like, let me just go ahead and do business professional.
Hmm.
Also, I
Hmm.
think the first time that I played this game, I did the breezy ruffles. So I was like, I'm trying to envision like a new I'm not gonna replay it like how I did the first time I played it. So
Hmm.
I wanted a new outfit just to get me like into a different state of mind with this book. You're absolutely right, it doesn't match, but I couldn't do breezy ruffles again. I had I had to try something new. I had to try something new, and the
I
diamond
had to step out of
options.
my comfort zone. We evolve here at Play Choices Podcast.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. When we replay a book, we try new things. We try different things. Okay, so safe to say we did not splurge this book, this chapter at least. No splurging, only skips. I would argue that even the free options we want to skip, but of course we can't walk into a location naked, so we had to make do with the outfits that were given to us. After you get past your character creation screen, we learn that the story is set in New York City, specifically Manhattan, and the main character, Amy, is waiting for her job interview at Rain's headquarters. And Amy has some thoughts. She's worried that she may not have what it takes to get the job, and she comments that she really needs this job. So a woman named Nicole Anderson walks into the waiting area. She is described as stunning but very icy, cold woman, and we learn that Nicole is the VP of operations, and she will announce to Amy that she's ready to interview her. And we learn that Amy is applying to be the executive assistant to Adrian Rains, who is the CEO of Rains Corporation. And Nicole describes him as one of the most powerful and influential men in the world. Very bold statement, very bold claim.
Yes. Truly just gives you how important this is right off the bat, gives you the
Right.
stakes, lets you know that if you don't get this, you will die. And that's it. You'll be broke.
Absolutely. So it's you better not fuck up this interview whatsoever. So during the interview, Nicole revealed that Rains Corporation is a global leader in technology and innovation, and then Nicole will ask why Amy is interested in the role. So Amy can say one of three things. She can say, I would love to help make the world a better place. I want to climb the corporate ladder, or the salary is incredible. What'd you pick?
So I just wanted to stay true to what I would say, and I just said that I wanted to climb the corporate ladder because I wanted to just display my dedication and the ability to hone in on my drive when it comes to my career. And I was like, it could be a little self-righteous and over-ambitious, but hey, I'm serious.
Well, what was Nicole's reaction to that?
She said, "Oh, that sounds very ambitious." She was pleased with the response.
Okay. Okay, so she was impressed. If you say, I would love to help make the world a better place, Amy will say that she admires their steps in global innovation and improvement, and she will specifically mention projects that the Reins Corporation has invested in, like the Clean Water Initiative and various vaccines. And Amy will say that she likes that they are investing in projects that help improve the world. And Nicole will say that this is a little bit of a kiss ass answer. She doesn't say it like that, but it is a little bit of a kiss ass answer. But she will say it is overall a good answer, and that Adrian will really like to hear that from her. And then if you say the salary is incredible, Amy will say that she really needs the money. She has student loans. She owes her roommates last month's rent. And she has been eating expired ramen, which I don't know how long you have to be broke to eat expired ramen, but it sounds like a very long time.
Yeah.
Because ramen is just noodles. It's literally just dry noodles. How does that go bad? That scares me that she said that she's eating expired ramen. And then Nicole will just say that it's an unusually candid answer, but she appreciates her honesty. So the interview will be interrupted by a handsome man in a suit, and we learn that that's Adrian. So he tells Nicole, I'm going to take over the interview from here because he has some extra time in his schedule. So Adrian will ask what Amy desires. This is yet again another option where you can pick one of three things to say. So she can either say power, adventure, or passion. What did you pick?
I said passion, just because I feel like personally every aspect of my life is something that I want to be passionate about. I want to
Mm-hmm.
feel passionate at my job, in my love life, who I am as a person, and the things that I do, hobbies, all of that. And I just feel like passion can equal drive, it can equal dedication, it can equal commitment. But you got to love what you do first.
And if you pick passion, Amy will say that she wants to feel deeply and live every moment like it's her last, and Adrian will say that he can relate to that feeling. If you pick power, Adrian will kind of cock an eyebrow at you, and Amy will say that she just wants more control over her life, which is fair. And then if you pick adventure, Amy will say that she wants to take risks and discover new things. I will say, just based off of some of the later dialogue that I get from Amy, I do think adventure is probably where they're taking her character. I think it's probably what's most true to her character, but that's not something that you know at this point in the chapter. It's just in later scenes she makes a lot of comments about wanting to explore the world and moving
Hmm.
to New York City so that way she
Hmm.
could experience, new things.
Yeah.
All right, before we move on to the rest of the chapter, let me interrupt to plug our socials. We are at Play Choices Podcast on Instagram and at Play Choices Pod on Twitter. You can also go to playchoicespodcast.tumblr.com for our Tumblr page, which is where I post any episode notes that I have, like links to posts that I've mentioned, photos I've mentioned, or more. We're also available for listening on all major platforms. So if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please rate, review, and subscribe. It's a funky thing with the algorithm that helps us a lot. I wish I could explain it more in depth, but I just know that it helps us. So we do appreciate any reviews that you leave us. And as always, we are a growing podcast. So if you see us pop up on your socials, we do appreciate a share, a retweet, or a reblog, depending on the platform you see us on. We also appreciate it when you share our podcast with your fellow choices loving friends. And now back to the episode. And then Adrian will start to go through Amy's resume. So we learn that she has a bachelor's in communications, she interned at a financial company, and she also volunteered abroad. And then Adrian will ask what that was like in 3 words. Amy will say it was difficult, enlightening, and rewarding. Adrian will then tell her that the job is challenging and unpredictable, and he will ask if Amy is comfortable running unusual errands and handling confidential information and working nights. To which she will say, like, yes to all of those things. And then Adrian will ask if there's anything else he should know about Amy. So Amy can either say, I've got world class people skills, I have a great memory, or I can mix a great mojito. What'd you pick?
I said I can mix a great mojito.
You say that Amy will explain that she can cook a good steak, decorate a room with just ribbons, and DJ a party on a short notice. I don't really know what value that adds to the interview. I guess if you're trying to show off your personality and be cute at that point,
Yeah.
then it makes sense. But I think where it felt bad for me is because, like I said, I've played this book before, so whenever it comes to these options about when you can pick different dialogue options, I go on YouTube and I try to watch what other people have picked. Going back to the question where Nicole asked Amy why she's interested in the role, most people said I'd love to make the world a better place, and I just felt like the least common one that I saw was the salary was incredible, so I went ahead and picked that. And then to later on say that, like, oh, I can make a great mojito. It just didn't seem like a good, like, employee profile. Like, oh, I'm only here because the salary is incredible, and I make a great mojito, I can cook a good steak, I can decorate a room with just ribbons, and I can DJ a party on a short notice. Like, it just felt like very unprofessional for those two combinations.
Yes, for those parallels and those choices, absolutely.
Yeah,
It's like now you know why I'm only after the money.
exactly, exactly. Like, I think if you pick other options that are more intuitively aligned to a interview, then it makes sense. But if you're just like, oh, I'm only here for the money and I want power and I can make a great mojito, like, it doesn't paint like a promising photo for a candidate, I think.
It's giving me very we need security guard like
Yes, it's giving
vibes.
me very like she's dangerous vibes here. So you can pick I have a great memory. I was not able to find anybody who picked that option, so unfortunately I don't know how he reacts. But if you do pick I've got world class people skills, Amy will explain that she was voted like most likable in high school, like best smile, a bunch of different categories. And she says that technically the yearbook committee had a rule that only one person could win a category. So, like, if you won in a category, you would be deemed ineligible for other categories. But she said that she's so influential and so likable that she was able to convince them to let her win in multiple categories. So, that is her evidence as to why she has world class people skills. And then Adrian will ask one more question. So he will start telling a story about a man who lived in a village who had a wife, 3 kids, friends, and property. And this man, one day while he was out, tending to his crops, he found a genie lamp and the genie gave him 3 wishes. So for the first wish, he got a pile of gold. But as a consequence, the rest of the village suffered instantly. Their crops died, their wells dried, all that kind of stuff. And then the man for his second wish will ask for immortality, which as a consequence caused all of his children and wife to die. So Adrian will ask you what you think the man should ask for his final wish. Amy can say infinite power to undo his last 2 wishes, or to murder the genie. Which one do you pick?
First of all, I would just like to personally say this is a fucking aggressive ass question.
Yes.
Playing through it, I said I wish a job would ask me this. I'd be like, you know what? Have a good day. I'm sorry. I didn't do my research when coming here. Okay, this really stumped me, and I
Uh-huh.
like was just on the screen for like 5 minutes because I was really I I had to make a pros and cons list for every
Uh-huh.
decision,
Uh-huh.
and I think where the pros outweigh the cons, and when there's more of a balance, is to kill the genie.
Oh, you pick kill the genie.
I did because the genie is a trickster, so I feel like any other thing that you wish for, it's always gonna have some sort of collateral that it's
Right.
worth more than the gift itself.
Yeah,
And
I
I
am.
just feel like you can't out trick a genie. let's just kill it. Let's get rid of it. Let's take that burden of losing our family and having like our fuck ups, and let's just burden it for like the rest of humanity, because this genie can continue to do this, and who knows how it will affect the world.
Right. So you can't say infinite power. I could not find what the option choice was for that. If you do say to murder the genie, Amy will explain that the genie is obviously evil and will continue to do evil things to every person who finds the lamp, so she suggests killing him. The one thing that I thought, I did pick that option too, but the one thing that I thought about what I was like, well, there's always a consequence. Like if you killed the genie, like what is he gonna make happen whenever he dies? Does that even work like that? Like what are the laws to a genie lamp? If I find a genie lamp, let me tell you, I'm leaving it alone. I'm not picking it up, I'm not touching it. Because that just feels like you're setting yourself up for disaster. It doesn't seem like it's gonna end up in your favor. What option I found was most popular was for people to say to undo his last two wishes. And Amy will say that, obviously the story is lesson in greed because he already had everything he wanted and he was being greedy. So the least he could do was undo all of his wishes and hope for the best because otherwise it was impossible for him to benefit from the lamp at all. I don't think your choices really matter because either way, like Adrian will hire Amy on the spot. It's not like, oh, she said that she wanted money and she wants to make a good mojito. Bye. It doesn't matter how like undesirable your responses are. Adrian will hire Amy and she will ask him when he can start and he will say that Amy can start right now. So then Adrian will take Amy to an elevator where he reveals that he needs some help being more efficient so that way he can get more things done in his workday. And he will briefly mention that his other assistant didn't understand that. And then when Amy asks if that's why she's no longer with the company, he looks a little guilty, which red flag number one. I feel like, why are you looking guilty?
No, really, really. You know why I love Amy and how they portrayed this character in the story?
Mm-hmm.
Because she's woke. Like I feel like most of her decisions, I'm not like, oh, I have to go with this one because the other one is flat out like stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Like they insert her thought process in the dialogue, and she's like, I don't like this. Something's
Yeah.
up. I don't like it.
There's a lot of other characters that you can play in the Choices app where it's just like, they just don't seem that smart. They don't seem to have common sense. And I like that Amy, like, whenever something weird happens, she, like, notices it. Like, I like that she's like, oh, he looked a little weirdly guilty about that answer. And I understand maybe for most people, like, it wouldn't be a red flag. But for me, if you work in a company and somebody is just not getting their job done the way that you want them to, I don't think most people are going to be, like, sad that they had to fire someone. They're going to be like, oh, well, she just wasn't a good fit. Not that firing someone isn't sad, but for him to look guilty, I was like, what's going on with that?
Yeah.
What is that about?
Do you want to talk about that, sir, before I sign this contract?
Well, it's too late. She already working for him. And Nicole, it said in the little description when they left for the elevator that Nicole was putting together paperwork for her. So it's too late.
And not to mention, she really need the job.
She really needs a job.
Noted as well. So she ain't got no other choice.
She got student loans. She owes last month's rent.
Yes.
And she's eating expired ramen. So she needs this fucking job.
She's going through it.
Yes, she needs this job. So then, after that entire awkward exchange passes, Amy will ask what's on the agenda for today. Adrian will say that he has a meeting with some important partners, and Amy can either respond, I'll meet them as they arrive, or she will ask how she can help prepare. If Amy says, I'll meet them as they arrive, Adrian will say that they're like longtime associates of his, so they know how to get through the building. Which is like nice, as an executive assistant, you're not sure how much like puppy dog shit you're going to be doing. So it's nice that he's like, you don't have to follow them around. Like, it's fine. But I like that part. And then if she asks, how can I help you prepare? She can offer to get food, but then Adrian will say that they won't need anything to eat. At least not anything that Amy can provide. And I was like, what? This shit getting weird.
Again, but like we also just like, I mean, I get it. It's just their example of foreshadowing.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, choices. You just like laying it on thick, huh? You just
They lay it on thick. And of course, like we all know that it's a vampire book. So like it makes sense. But I said, what a strange thing to say for someone who's trying to hide the fact that he's a vampire.
No, like really.
Oh, we eat,
Really?
just not something that you can provide for us. Which, again, he's being very weird. I would just think, like, this man's a CEO. He probably has to do press conferences. He probably has to, be a representative for his
He ain't got no
company.
people skills.
He has no people skills. Why are you out here saying, oh, well, we could eat, but not anything that you can give us? And Amy was offering good food, like Mediterranean food, sir. I know he eats regular food from a dime option that we get later on in the chapter. So I don't know why he's denying Mediterranean food. I don't know why he's doing that. If someone offered to get me Mediterranean food, especially with how much cash he has, I'd be like, order it now. Order it now.
Automatically. I'm like, listen, let's order for lunch and dinner, okay?
And
Thank
get the
you.
extra hummus and the pita bread. Do not skimp out on that hummus, okay?
Just actually have them cook a stack of pita bread.
Yes, I want a box of just pita bread. If I had as much money as him, I would get just a box of pita bread. So Adrian will say that these people that he's meeting are very powerful people, so he wants to give them a memorable gift, and he will ask Amy to pick them up from the basement archives. Again, it just gets weirder. It's just like the first 5 minutes of this job are like, what is this? He will say to meet him on the 75th floor after she's done picking up the gifts, and he will warn Amy that the archive clerk is a bit unusual. And as she's like going to the elevator, she's like, is this a test? And he just smiles at her, and I was like, no.
Nope.
No.
And then immediately after, when she's down the elevator, her thought process is she's like, what does this man mean unusual? Like, she's automatically like, I'm so uncomfortable.
And I'm like, girl, I'm right there with you. This is very strange. So then Amy goes into the basement and she meets the clerk. The clerk is an older man in an old suit, and he looks very irritated. And when Amy extends for a handshake, he will ignore it. So again, the whole vibe is off. The whole vibe is not good. And then Amy will attempt to get the gifts from Adrian, and the clerk will ask for an authorization form. Amy will say that she doesn't have one, and the clerk will begin to leave. And then Amy can say one of two things. She can either say, please give me a moment, or I need those gifts now. What did you pick?
Listen, again, everything is weird. This is very professional. I was like, can you give me a moment? I just need a moment. Thank you.
If you do say, please give me a moment, Amy will go into like this long apology, thanking the clerk for informing her about the proper procedure, but that Adrian requested the gifts and she doesn't want to get fired on her first day. So he will relay and go get them for her. Now, the option that I picked is I need those gifts now. I just feel like I don't like an older man trying to man up on me and trying to tell me I can't get some damn gifts. It's the CEO.
You said, this is my job, sir. I don't know who you are, but I'm telling you who I am. I need these gifts. Right. Okay?
It's just like, here's the thing. If he was polite and he was like, I am so sorry, if I need an authorization form, it's like procedure and stuff, I would be like, you know what? I am so sorry. Let me politely explain to you. But he had an attitude from the get-go, and that's where he fucked up with me. Okay? I am the fucking executive assistant to the CEO of this company. I automatically have power.
Who that Capricorn coming out? Who? That's the most Capricorn thing I've ever heard you say. It turned me on, mama. You said, you don't know my job title, miss. There's a reason why you're down in the basement and I'm on the 75th floor.
Oh. I just feel like he was being so rude from the get-go. Like, I come up and tell you, hey, the CEO sent me down for some gifts, and he's like, I need an authorization form. You don't even know who I am. You have no idea who I am. If the fucking CEO told me to come down here and get the gifts, I'm gonna come down here and get the gifts. If the CEO doesn't think that I need an authorization form, then I don't need a fucking authorization form. Like, that just irritated the fuck out of me. So, if you pick the option, Amy will say she doesn't need a form because she got authorization from Adrian himself. She will say that it clearly isn't an accident or a coincidence that she knows that he had gifts reserved to pick up this afternoon. She kind of goes in. She goes in.
Yeah, I love that.
She definitely goes in. Regardless of whatever choice you make, the clerk will return with a carved wooden box. Inside the box are 3 gifts. So the first one's a silver dagger, and the dagger is meant for Mr. Castellanos and is from the 14th century. The second gift is an Egyptian scarab beetle that is encrusted with stones, and we learn that it is 2,100 years old, and that is for Mrs. Saeed. And the last item is a tiny glass vial filled with red powder, and it is called a mandrake extract, with Adrian wanted for himself. So Amy will go into the elevator and she'll start to Google what mandrake extract is, which, as she was doing this, I said, girl, it's a good thing, but it's also a bad thing.
Yes.
The moment you have to start Googling what weird ass powder you picked up for your boss, I'm telling you, what are we on red flag number 4?
Yeah, no, 47 actually.
Hmm.
And you know, just to piggyback off of what you just said, ignorance is bliss. And obviously she does not want to live her life in bliss. So like
No, she knows too much information at this point, and it's just starting to get scary. This is the part in the thriller where the main character is like, "Let me do some digging in the files," and you're like, "Please don't. Please just
no,
leave.
please
Like,
don't.
why
Like
are you
please
even
just be
still in the
ignorant.
building?"
Yeah, just like please just like be blissfully unaware of everything.
Right,
Like
why are you still in the building? Like, it's just scaring me. So she Googles it. She learns that mandrake extract is a hallucinogenic and a narcotic. Many, many years ago, it was used to treat melancholy, but in large doses, it can induce delirium and unconsciousness. And that's when Amy starts to wonder to herself if she could be concerned. I feel like she should have been concerned 2 red flags ago, but
oh yeah.
I don't
Yes.
disagree with her that that is a concerning thing to pick up for your boss. Okay? She's absolutely correct. So then Amy will walk into a meeting and she will meet 2 people, Camilla Sayed and Lester Castellanos. Camilla is the CEO of Aminet Financial, and she will say that Adrian goes through assistance quickly, which this is red flag number 6.
Yeah.
Again, between him saying he feels guilty about his last assistant leaving and him going through assistance quickly, whoo,
Those red flags are linked together, and that is called red flag squared, and that is more powerful. So she should have ran out that fucking
this is
office.
red flag hexagon. Like,
And the hexagon is forming a stop sign, and
yes.
she's not getting it.
Yes, all the flags are entwining and tying together to just be a big ass red stop sign, and oh, it's making me so uncomfortable. Camilla will deny a handshake from Amy, which is this the second time no one wants to
The
shake her
second
hand.
time, the second time. So at this point, when this happened to me, I said, "Oh, we just don't greet motherfuckers here." Got it. Okay,
Exactly.
we just don't. Got it.
This is very very cold work environment. Adrian is the only one who seems nice, and even then he's giving me very weird vibes. Very as we would call them sinister vibes.
Yes.
Getting very sinister vibes from this whole fucking first day at work. Adrian will comment that Camilla is a brilliant and fascinating woman, but she's not warm, which I wish she had told us this before. If I'm a new first day executive assistant walking into a meeting with 2 people that he is very closely intertwined with from a business perspective, can he not give me a download on these 2 people and tell me that maybe not to give her a handshake?
Yes. Yes.
Like in a normal job, that's what they do. They kind of warn you, like, by the way, this person doesn't like this, so don't mention that. And he didn't do that to us. He just gonna let us embarrass. It's so embarrassing.
I'm so embarrassed.
Like, oh my
The
god.
embarrassment is embarrassing.
I'm getting like secondhand embarrassment, third-hand embarrassment at this point, because this is the second time in 5 minutes she's tried to extend a handshake and nobody wants to touch her.
Is it the
Oh,
olive pants? Is it the olive pants?
is it my blazer? Is it my blazer? Would you treat me with more respect if I was wearing that gray sweater?
If I look like Regina George.
Oh god,
Oh, that's so fetch.
it's so oh god. Okay, so she will move on from Camilla to Lester. Lester is like, let me tell you, any man named Lester,
You
it's a
just know
wrap.
he in trouble.
It's a
Yes, you
wrap.
just know. You
It's a
just
wrap.
know.
Lester is immediately creepy and goes in to shake Amy's hand. He starts to compliment her appearance, and we learn that Lester owns Castellano's Meats. He will begin to hit on Amy just like more and more aggressively as this interaction goes on. And Amy can either look at Adrian for help or she can, defend herself. What did you do?
I defended myself because ain't no man
Uh
about to
huh.
defend me. So I defended myself. Now what she did afterwards, I was like, oh, that might have been a little bit too far, but I fucked with your energy. I fucked with your energy. I fucked with your vibe, and
Right.
I concur. Let's continue.
So if you do ask Adrian for help, he will kind of just like run over to where I don't know how this conference room must be big because it said that he moved really fast. So this conference room, they must have been sitting on opposite sides of the fucking conference table for him to have to get up and walk over to Lester to stop this. But he moves very fast. He grabs like Lester's hand or wrist and slams it into a conference table and tells him to keep his hands to himself, which I'm like, yes, big dick energy right there. And then if Amy confronts him herself, she will slap him, which I will say again, like I was like, damn, I didn't know you were gonna do that, but she definitely slaps him. And then Adrian doesn't, he doesn't scold her. He just looks at Lester and tells him to back off. And either way, Camilla just seems like very entertained by the entire scene.
Yeah.
She's just like, you know what? Lester's on his bullshit. He always be doing this shit. She's like, yeah, slap the fuck out of him. I wanted to do that for years. So then Amy will deliver the gifts. Camilla will like the gift. She'll like the scarab. And Amy can comment on its cultural significance because she took a history class. She recalls it. And then Camilla will look at Amy. And Amy has this like heated connection with Camilla. So I just, we kind of get the feeling that maybe down the road she'll be an ally at some point.
Ella, yes, automatically. The way they set her up, they're like, I was so moved and captivated by her brown eyes. I was like, ooh, I
I
felt
was
like I was
like,
intruding.
oh my god, we just getting turned on by everybody at this fucking meeting. I said the only person who we're not turned on by is Lester.
But we are turning on Lester, so we still connected.
There's a
so much
lot of sexual energy in this conference room. A lot of sexual energy on the first day. I don't know how to feel about it. Camilla fine though, like let's be for real.
Oh, yes.
She's beautiful. And you know how I feel about them cold those ones well actually this is a little unusual for me
Mm?
cuz I don't usually like these cold allies, but something about I like the fact here's what I'll say. Here's what I like about Camilla. Number one, she's fine. She has good taste in gifts. Right? Like she received the gift and she was like, this is beautiful. I like a bad bitch in luxury. I like a bad bitch who makes her own money. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I like
Mm-hmm.
the fact that she has a sense of humor. Like she watched Amy bitch slap Lester and she was like, good for her.
Yeah, she said yes, queen.
She said,
Yes.
yes, queen, go off, queen. Hit him again. Hit him from the other cheek.
Do
Get
you
both
want
of
me to
them.
hit him? I will.
Yeah,
I'll hit him right now.
right now. I'm not going to talk about this employee boss relationship because we talked about it to death in the past couple of episodes. But at least Camilla isn't your boss. She's your boss's friend. And like, either way, you're going to be someone's sugar baby. So I like Camilla, girl. Y'all don't see me, but I'm tucking my hair behind my ear. I'm trying to be flirtatious. I like her. I like her a lot.
Yeah, no, she's a vibe.
Yeah, she seems good. Before we continue with the rest of the episode, I do want to remind everyone that if you have any questions, theories, or comments that you would like to be included in a future episode, please email us at playchoicespodcast@gmail.com. Make sure to specify whether you want to be shouted out or not, otherwise all emails will be anonymous. Questions can be related to books we've recorded episodes on, books that we haven't discussed yet, or even questions that you'd like to ask us. Alternatively, you can go to our Ask box on playchoicespodcast.tumblr.com and submit a question. Just specify that it's for the podcast and we'll be sure to include it. And back to our episode. Okay, so that Amy will give Lester the blade. There's a couple of comments that are worth noting in this interaction, like Lester will ask Amy to call him daddy, and then when he grabs the blade from her hand, he makes a point to not touch her. And he will point that out to Adrian, like, oh, look, I didn't put my hands on her. And Adrian will congratulate him on doing the bare minimum to not be walking slime.
Yes, I love that comment.
It's just so interesting. It's just, oh, Lester makes me uncomfortable. He makes me so uncomfortable. So later on, Amy will leave the meeting and she'll text her roommate. Her roommate's name is Lily Spencer. Amy will say that it's weird that she's still there at work and she's not sure if she should leave yet. Lily will encourage her to stay, but also to be careful coming home at night because there's been like all these attacks all over the city. And we also learned that Lily is having a date night with someone named Melanie. So the meeting will end. Adrian will seem kind of shocked that Amy's still at work, and then Adrian will say that the meeting went well and that she's free to go. Now, there is a diamond option to go to dinner with Adrian, which he offers because he says he wants to get to know all of his employees better. Did you take this option?
Yes, because I was like, I've been in this bitch all fucking night. I haven't had anything to eat, and he a quadrillionaire, so he about to pay me. He about to pay for my dinner.
Exactly. Okay. I did not take this option, but I did watch it on YouTube. So we'll just kind of walk through it, and I just want to know, like, if there's any points that I'm describing where you're like, oh, that conversation went a little bit different because I picked this option. We can talk about it.
Got it.
Okay, so he takes Amy. There's a fucking. This man's so rich. He got a private restaurant upstairs that is only for the employees of Rand's Corporation.
Yeah, that's insane.
So he goes upstairs. First of all, you see like the skyline of New York is beautiful. It's nighttime. There's a fucking jazz band playing in the background.
Mm-hmm.
This shit is insane. And all
Mm-hmm.
of the meals are expensive, which I don't really like because if the restaurant is only for how much
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, "Ooh," I said, "Is this expensive? Do we get a discount? Like, what's the issue? Like,
I was
what?"
like, who's coming up here to eat if you have $900 bottles of wine?
And I'm over here like, and it's not even any Mediterranean food, so I don't know about this one, y'all.
Exactly. Where's the hummus? Where's the pita bread? Someone please tell me where's the hummus and the pita bread? So all the meals are super expensive. Adrian will say she can order whatever he wants because he's covering, which like if you're the fucking CEO, you better be covering my fucking meal. Okay?
Right,
I don't want
truly.
to be working for no cheap ass, tight ass, penny pinching CEO. If you taking me
Okay,
out to dinner,
we not working with no Mr. Krabs up in here, okay?
exactly. You better be shelling out on my first day, making me feel welcome. So there are a couple of meal options. There is one that comes with no meat, and I think if Amy orders that, Adrian will ask if she's a vegetarian.
Yes.
Okay. Amy will say yes because she just feels like it's the right thing to do. Adrian will say that he's just kind of like a carnivore, it's just the way that he is. And Amy will say, maybe one day he'll try it. And then he says, yeah, maybe someday. And then he looks sad when he says it. Red flag, what is this? 8?
8, red flag 8, 8.
This conversation is getting real sketchy. It's getting real sketchy. Amy can inquire about the meeting earlier, and Adrian will say that since they are leaders in their respective fields, it's important for him to meet up with them and discuss their plans for the future. And then Amy will kind of joke that it's like this group of elites that are running the city, and then Adrian will say, that's more of an accurate guess than you would think. Red flag number 9. I didn't like that comment because what the fuck is a financial firm and a technology firm doing talking to an owner of a butcher?
Yeah.
Where do those intertwine, sir? I would like to know what your plans are for them and why you feel the need to wine and dine them with all of these gifts. It just makes me uncomfortable. Okay, so we're on red flag number fucking 9, Adrian. We're way past the 3 try rule at this point. So the conversation continues. Amy will say that she's from a small town. She came to the big city to discover herself. And this is where the dialogue starts to turn in the diamond scene where I'm like, oh, maybe the adventure option from earlier in the interview would have made sense. Because she says that, she wants to go to the big city to discover herself. Her parents are protective, but they are supportive of her kind of exploring the world. And Amy will say she doesn't know what she wants to do yet, but she knows that she wants to make her life memorable. Adrian will say that that makes her a good match for the company because when he founded it, he wanted to use technology to solve very, admirable problems that most humanitarians want to solve, like diseases, poverty, environmental threats, and even death. Like this man alluded to the fact that he wants to make immortality a thing, which red flag number 10.
Yes, listen, that option, like, that's the option I chose. And so, like, he's reading off, things that he wants done. And I'm like, yeah, like, that's amazing. That's amazing. Death. I said, okay, hold on. Wait a minute.
I don't
Wait a
know what it
minute.
is with these billionaires just want to live forever. Like, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because their life is so good because they're so privileged that they're like, I could do this forever. I hate it when rich people are like, I want to, let's see if we can make immortality a thing. I'm like, because, immortality is a technology that will only ever be available to rich people. That's never going to be like a poor person thing
Oh, never.
if they ever figure that out. So, oh God, we in double digits now. We in double digits with these red flags. So the wine will arrive at the table. Adrian will ask Amy to try it first, and she will say that it reminds her of her childhood. They go through this whole memory sequence of like her being like super vivid in her memory. I'm not going to go into it. The conversation will shift into them talking about how they both love New York City. Amy will continue to make comments about wanting to have an adventure. Adrian will say that he grew up in a family that wasn't wealthy and he always wanted to see a city like this. But now that he's here, all that he can wonder about is what is going to come next in his life. Amy can make a suggestive comment at this point where she tries to kiss Adrian, but Adrian will stop her and say that they shouldn't. And then he will offer to get her a car to take her home. And he will say that he enjoyed having dinner with her.
Oh no, I did not try to kiss him.
Oh, you did not.
No, I didn't.
How did that go?
I said we should continue to make the world a better place. It
Okay.
was something on the lines of that. And he just said that like we share the same vision and goals. And then he said it's getting late. I should get you a car.
Gotcha. So then Amy will go back to her apartment where her roommate is playing video games, which girls say. Lily will reveal that she got stood up by Melanie, and Lily will then ask how the new job was. Amy can either say it's weird, it was good, or I'll tell you after I take a cold shower. Which one did you pick?
I said it was good.
Okay, and then Lily would just kind of give you a high five. If you say it's weird, Lily will ask if it's a good weird or a bad weird, and then Amy will bring up the unusual gifts from earlier and say that she thinks that there's more to the Reigns Corporation than what she has seen so far. Or she can say, I'll tell you after I take a cold shower. And Lily will tell you to dish, but Amy will say that there's really nothing to tell. And then Lily says a comment says that she'll drag the truth out of Amy eventually. The conversation will turn into Amy questioning why Lily deals with Melanie when she always flakes on Lily, and then Lily will say she honestly doesn't know. Amy can either say you deserve better or give her the benefit of the doubt. What'd you pick?
I said you deserve better because it was in conversation that this happens all the time. So like,
Yeah.
we all know the definition of insanity. So
Mm-hmm.
let's stop pretending like things are gonna change. You
Right.
deserve better.
Amy will say that Lily deserves someone who values her and someone who treats her right and like understands how great she is. Lily will kind of look away and say that she's not ready for that yet, which I think she was commenting on she's not ready to break up with Melanie yet, but that she appreciates the comment from her. And if you do say give her the benefit of the doubt, Amy will say she doesn't want Lily to mess up things if Melanie has like a good reason for not showing up tonight, which I feel like is bullshit, but that's something you can pick. So the conversation will then pivot back to Adrian, and Lily will ask what he's like. Amy can say that he's interesting, a little scary, or super hot. If you say interesting, Lily will say you need to drink some more wine, if that's all that Amy is going to reveal at this point. If you say a little scary, Amy will say that he has got some weird vibe to him. Like he's just like this weirdly powerful person, and it's a little scary. Did you pick super hot?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay, because I did not see anyone pick super hot, so I don't know how that conversation turns out. While they're about to drink the wine, Amy will suddenly remember that she still has the red mandrake that she meant to give to Adrian, so she will rush out of the apartment to go back to the office. And when she rushes back to the office, she will open Adrian's office door to see him as a vampire feeding off of a woman. We're left on that cliffhanger. Adrian's a vampire, which
Shocker.
right, we knew. After 10 red flags, we finally gotten to the reason of behind all the red flags.
I just hope it's not my roommate's date on that damn fucking office table.
Oh, you think it's Melanie?
Yeah.
Oh shit, that wasn't even a question I had prepared.
That's automatically what I thought because like that's just something like that's plot driven. Like, oh my god, like she keeps, flaking on me, and turns out like the real reason is because she got ate. Like
She got a.
she got ate.
It would make more sense from like a dialogue option, like why you would possibly say like, "Oh, we need to give her the benefit of the doubt."
Right, right.
It does make more sense from that way. So, are you into vampire shows and like mythology? Are you into like that type of supernatural stuff?
Love it, love it, love it, love it. But like I don't I'm more. Okay. Well, I watched the Vampire Diaries, so I guess that's a little cliche and different. But like True Blood and stuff, like I couldn't get into. I just love like actual Dracula movies and like Van Helsing with Hugh Jackman and like I love that aspect of vampirism.
Okay. So this is like a book that you were like, I can get into very quickly.
Yes, I was like, I am full. The moment, literally, like 2 minutes after meeting him, I was like, oh, he a vampire. I was like, I'm gonna like this. I fucks with this.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't watched a good vampire show in like a really long time. I feel like the age of like good vampire media has like passed. I haven't found any new ones that I like. I do fuck with vampire and like supernatural shows. I do like them. So let's just go through some of the more prominent characters. What is your first impression of Adrian?
Very much, I became like I didn't know what I was signing up for when I became a vampire vibes. Okay. So a little bit of redemption that could happen with his character as the story progresses. So I'm very he just alludes like silver lining as far as like vampirism and the style of life that he lives. So I'm very intrigued with him.
So you think he's like one of those quote unquote good vampires? He was
Right,
like,
like he about to sparkle, he Edward.
oh my god.
I mean, maybe not because that girl was on that damn office table, but we'll see.
Right, we know he's not a vegetarian. I mean, clearly the conversation from dinner makes more sense. What about Camilla?
She's such a vibe. Love her. She's just bad bitch energy. Adrian would take what he wants, and Camilla will give me the right to choose, and I love that. I love
Ooh.
it.
Ooh, can we go a little bit further into what you just said?
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about the parallel between who he is, him being a vampire, and the genie in the story, right?
Okay.
You give up your family and you give up everything that you love and know to become immortal, and that has consequences, right? Stop looking for other people to validate your choices and just pick one yourself. And I feel like that's what that question was. And I feel like he had a good thing and he still wanted more. So why am I under the impression that if I said no to anything that contradicts what he wants, that he'll let me do that?
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just a little bit confused. You're saying that you feel like if you said no to Adrian, he wouldn't let you disagree or choose a separate path from him?
Right, right.
Okay. What about Camilla makes you think that she's more like open to you having a different opinion?
Because I feel like that's how she got changed. It was against her free will. And I just feel like the empowering moment when I slapped the other old creepy butcher meat guy,
Hmm.
it just felt more like empowering. I'm lifting you up because I've been there type situation. Like, good for her.
You're already getting their vampire origin stories together. Like you think Adrian
I'm
like
trying.
definitely wanted to be a vampire. You're already calling it that Camilla's a vampire and that it was against her will.
Yes, yes. I'm
Okay.
speculating heavenly.
Oh, you were definitely heavily speculating. And then Lily, how do you feel about Lily?
Oh, I like her. I like her. I think her personality is going to be, the type to be like, oh, I'm not surprised. Just seems very woke, very vibeful. And I'm interested to see how she can contribute into the story.
So you think that like once she finds out that Adrian's a vampire, she's gonna be like into it?
I think she's going to be like, duh. When you were talking to me, I told you. That's what I
Right.
told you.
She's gonna be like, yeah, I told you that motherfucker was weird. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, dead ass.
Yeah. My next question was going to be, did you feel disturbed by anything that happened on Amy's first day? But I feel like we definitely talked about that.
Yeah, a lot of red flags, and like
10.
what I love about 10, yeah, what I love about it is again with the character's internal monologue where it's expressed in dialogue her thoughts, it's projecting discomfort. So it's not like you can't sit here and pretend like it's not, discomforting because it is.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I definitely agree. I appreciate that like all these weird things were happening and Amy wasn't like, haha, this is fine. Like I like that she was like, should I be going?
Yeah, yeah. She said, "What do you mean unusual?" Like,
Exactly. Exactly. And then my last question for you is, would you have rushed back to Adrian's office to give him the mandrake?
no, because obviously he won't press about it. Like, if it's something that he really needed, I feel like he would have told me, like, "Oh, hey, did you get my item as well?" And like, no, that's a tomorrow day. He already said goodnight, goodbye.
I feel like, at this point you should probably have his phone number. You can text him and be like, "Hey, I forgot about this. Do you want me to come back into the office?" I feel like you could have knocked. I feel like there's so many other things you could have done than just bust it into the office.
She literally said, "Oh, I see the light underneath his door. I'm so glad he's here." Busted in.
Bust
What?
it in. It's your first day and you feel that comfortable walking into his office without knocking? That made me so uncomfortable. I mean, whew, oof. I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. So no, I don't think I would have rushed back to the office, especially the amount of times that people have been like, "Oh, there's attacks across the city at night." I would have been like, "Adrian, let me talk. This is my text message." I'd be like, "Hey, Adrian, I apologize. I just realized that there was a third gift that I received that was meant to be for you, but I have it with me. Would you like it? And if so, can you send a car to come pick me up?
Right, right.
Because I feel like that's not too much to ask for." And then if he, which I don't think he would push back because he's the one who offered to get you the damn car in the first place. But just say like I'm still a little bit scared about going out at night, so it'd be nice to have someone to escort me to and from. So yeah, that's all the discussion questions that I have. Did you have anything you want to bring up?
No, no.
Okay. I'm not doing Reddit reactions. I'm not doing bingo this week. Personal life has been very hectic, and I don't have the patience to do those this week. And that's
We,
fine.
yeah, we're just being fully transparent.
Just being fully transparent that I can't do those. And I don't know. I sometimes I wonder if that really adds like value to an episode. So I mean, y'all let me know. Feel free to write in. We have an emails at playchoicespodcast@gmail.com. Feel free to write in and be like, oh my god, I really miss bingo this week, or I really miss like Reddit reactions this week. I don't know how much value they add to an episode, honestly. So I feel totally comfortable leaving them off of an episode this time. So yeah, that's the end of our episode. Thanks so much for listening. Tune in next week. We'll announce on our socials when next episode goes live, which is always on Saturday at midnight Eastern Standard Time. And we'll announce what the topic is. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye, guys.